We have become very familiar with the military uses for drones, but what about specifically in the case of this report that Facebook is interested in Titan Aerospace? What does Titan make, and how could it potentially be used by Facebook?
Well, what Titan Aerospace has is an unmanned aircraft system that can fly above 65,000 feet. Therefore, what they're going to use it for, if this deal that has been rumored to happen goes through, is to allow them to have communications with many different parts of the world. So in this particular case, this technology has been demonstrated back in 2010. DARPA, the Department of Defense, had worked on a program called Vulture that actually was to fly for 5 years at high altitudes, and this is really a low-orbit satellite that we're talking about, and this would allow them to have internet in countries that right now do not, and that's about 2/3 of the world.
So without us getting too technical, if we're thinking about a drone that can provide internet access, we should think of it like a satellite?
Exactly. This is a low-flying, low-orbit satellite that has the ability to maneuver within the band that they want to allow for the connectivity of communications. So if you look at Africa and you look at some of the third world countries that skipped a generation of cell phones, they never put power lines or hard cable lines in the ground, but now they have cell coverage. Well, this is the exact same thing they're going to do with the internet. They'll skip a generation of the internet and go to the ability to now do it through these low-flying orbital satellites that are now called unmanned aircraft systems, or you call them drones.
How would this compare to what Google's been focused on? They call it Project Loon. Both of these companies obviously interested in more people using the internet around the globe.
Right. Well, Project Loon and what Google was doing is they were looking at balloons that would fly at those higher altitudes, actually in the stratosphere, that would allow them to be able to, again, use it as a relay, a comm relay that would allow them to have connectivity so that they could provide internet service to places right now that are denied that because there is no infrastructure that allows that to happen. So I think the Titan Aerospace is a better model because it has the ability to maneuver, whereas the balloons basically are floating along basically just in the space.
Just before we go, Michael, where do governments come into this story, especially if Facebook is going to be using these drones in parts of Africa? Where does the government have a say, and how does that all play out?
Well, the FAA, which is regulatory, is the airspace that we exist in, only regulates up to about 60,000 feet. So these systems would be flying above that in the really the suborbital phase. So therefore, there wouldn't be any regulation. So the only difficulty would be, or the only thing that they have to contend with, is getting up to that altitude.